I told my husband I missed being kissed like he meant it, and 12 hours later, he booked a hotel room. But not for us. Let's rewind just a little. It was a Tuesday. I remember because I'd spilled almond milk in my car that morning, and the entire day smelled like slightly sweet rot. My patience was already low, my hair was frizzy from the rain, and dinner was going to be another freezer-burned compromise. He came home the usual way, threw his laptop bag by the couch, muttered something about traffic, and went straight to the fridge. Not even a glance. No, hi, babe, no kiss on the cheek. Just a grunt and the sound of La Croix cracking open. So when I finally said it, I wasn't trying to start a fight. I wasn't trying to guilt him or make some dramatic announcement. I just cracked. "I miss how you used to touch me," I said while stirring some sad, overcooked pasta. "I feel like I could walk around naked in this house and you'd barely look up." He didn't even blink, just kept scrolling through something on his phone. "Come on," he said flatly, "don't start." That was his favorite response lately, "Don't start." As if I woke up every morning, plotting a new way to ruin his peace. I didn't say anything after that. We ate in silence. He watched whatever garbage comedy he was binging, and I answered a few work emails on the couch, too proud to cry where he could see it. I went to bed early, he stayed up. And the next morning, he was suddenly chipper. "Hey," he said, pouring coffee like we were in a Folgers commercial. "Thinking we should do something nice this weekend. I'll surprise you." And my stupid, touch-starved heart lit up like it was Christmas. I thought maybe he'd heard me. Maybe I'd gotten through. We hadn't been on a real date in months. Our sex life was basically just sad foreplay with no follow-through, and I'd been feeling invisible for way longer than I'd admitted out loud. But now he was planning something. "Really?" I smiled, "like overnight." He kissed the top of my head and said, "You'll see." Jesus, I was glowing all day. I even put on makeup for the first time that week. I ordered that little black dress I used to wear when he couldn't keep his hands off me. I Venmo'd the babysitter. I shaved. Every damn thing. I was practically humming with anticipation. I even packed a bag. I was such an idiot. He left work early Friday, said he'd text me the address once things were ready. So I waited. I kept my phone in my hand like a lifeline. And then it buzzed. Not from him. From Talia. Now, if you're wondering who the hell Talia is, same. I didn't know her at all. But she apparently knew me. Because she sent a photo. Of a hotel reservation confirmation. In my husband's name. With a timestamp from the day after our kitchen conversation. The day I told him I missed passion. The day I told him I felt invisible. The day he looked at me like I was a nuisance. Yeah. That day. The reservation. It was for 2. And the check-in date was tonight. At the Velvet Luxe. You know, the kind of place you don't take your wife to when you still share laundry duty. The message attached. I figured you'd want to know who your husband really wanted to impress. Hope the room's big enough for your shattered expectations. I swear I stopped breathing for a full 30 seconds. Then I laughed. Because what else do you do when you find out your marriage died in a goddamn hotel booking? You laugh. Then you cry. Then you stand in the mirror, look at yourself in the dress you were planning to wear for him, and you wonder how long you've been lying to yourself. And here's the kicker. I didn't confront him. Not yet. Because I needed to see it. With my own eyes. I drove to the hotel like a ghost. No music, no directions, just the sound of my breath and my heartbeat trying to punch through my chest. The Velvet Luxe. Even the name pissed me off. Velvet Luxe. Give me a break. The only luxe in our marriage lately was when we splurged on 2-ply toilet paper. I pulled into the parking garage and waited. I didn't even know what for. Part of me hoped it was a mistake, that maybe Talia was some crazy ex, That maybe the whole thing was just a prank from some emotionally unwell wedding guest we once seated too close to the bar. But no, it was real. Because there he was, walking out of the elevator in the lobby, wearing the same cologne I hadn't smelled on him in weeks, shirt ironed, hair styled, holding a single white rose. Not for me. I stayed hidden behind a column. My hands were shaking, but my brain had already disassociated. I wasn't in my body anymore. And then she appeared. Talia. God, she was younger than me, and thinner, but not better, just obvious. The kind of girl who still believes attention is affection, who probably thought this was romantic. He handed her the rose and kissed her cheek. They laughed. Then they walked to the front desk. Arms casually brushing like this wasn't a fucking betrayal in real time. I don't know what snapped in me first, the laughter or the way he looked at her. Like she was dessert, like she was something he wanted. Something he chose. I stayed in that garage for a full hour after they went upstairs. I couldn't move. I was afraid that if I turned the ignition, I'd crash into something just to feel something else. Eventually, I drove home. When I walked into our house, it felt like a museum of a life I didn't live in anymore. There were dishes in the sink. His shoes at the door. A framed photo of our wedding on the bookshelf. Me smiling like a fool, him smirking like he knew a secret. I wanted to smash it. But instead, I sat down at the kitchen table and stared at the clock. At 9:12 p.m., I opened my laptop and made a spreadsheet. Yeah, a spreadsheet. Because if he could plan a betrayal, I could plan a fucking war. The next day, he came home like nothing happened. Said the event was good, that the guys had gone out, that he was beat. He kissed the top of my head. The same lips that had kissed her collarbone. I asked him if he still wanted to do dinner Sunday. He said sure, smiled, told me to pick the place. I picked the one with linen tablecloths and live jazz. The one where we celebrated our 5th anniversary. The one that now had a private dining room if you booked in advance, which I did. I told them I needed a projector. Told them it was a surprise presentation. Told them the slideshow might get a little emotional. I wasn't lying. That Sunday, I curled my hair. Wore the red wrap dress he used to love. The one I hadn't worn in over a year because he stopped noticing. He held the door open for me like a gentleman. Pulled out my chair. Ordered a bottle of wine. Big plans, he asked, grinning. You look incredible. I tilted my head. Actually, yeah, I wanted to show you something. The waiter gave me the nod. Lights dimmed. Screen came to life. First slide. For the man who gave me nothing, and everything I needed to leave. He laughed nervously. What is this? Second slide, the hotel receipt. Third, photo of him and Talia in the lobby. Yeah, I went back in and took one. Fourth, Talia's message. Fifth, a screenshot of his texts, pulled from the backup sync on our shared iCloud, because yes, he was that sloppy. His face collapsed. Wait, this is. I raised my hand. SHHH, don't ruin it. He stood up, looked around at the silent, frozen diners. He stormed out. But not before knocking over the wine bottle. It splashed across the tablecloth like blood. I just sat there. Hands folded. Staring into the crimson mess he left behind. After the dinner bomb detonated, I expected chaos. Screaming, threats, begging, maybe even a dramatic monologue in the rain. But what I got is silence. He didn't text, didn't call, didn't send a carrier pigeon begging for forgiveness. Nothing. Which was almost more insulting than the affair. I humiliated him publicly, laid out his bullshit in full HD, and all I got was quiet. It was like he didn't care enough to even fight for the scraps of his image. I didn't cry. That night, I microwaved leftover lasagna, kicked off my heels, and watched a documentary about serial killers. Fitting. I blocked his number the next morning. Then I took a personal day, went to the spa, and paid extra for the detoxifying body wrap, which, let's be honest, was just a glorified cocoon. But it felt poetic. Like I was shedding the skin of the woman who used to whisper apologies into empty rooms. Later that week, he emailed me. Because of course he did. No subject line, no greeting. Just, "You embarrassed me, I hope it was worth it." That was the whole thing. No apology, no explanation, no acknowledgement of what he did. Just pure, concentrated narcissism. I didn't respond, but I did forward the email to his mother. With a single line. "Thought you should know what kind of man you raised." Yes, it was petty. No, I don't regret it. She replied with, "I'm so sorry, you didn't deserve this." Damn right, Karen, damn right. Here's where things got messy. Talia reached out again. She sent me a message on Instagram, because apparently that's how grown women handle things now. "I didn't know he was married. He told me you were separated, I'm sorry." Okay, that one made me pause. Because she looked so smug in that lobby. She held his hand like it was hers. But now, she was posting moody selfies with song lyrics like, "Hard to love a man who loves himself more." I didn't respond. Because the truth is, we were both just different chapters in his ego story. We weren't people, we were props. She was just the new me, before I got dull, tired, inconvenient. Before I asked for anything real. But the real kicker. Turns out I wasn't the first. His coworker messaged me. She said she'd seen similar behavior with a client 6 months ago. That he had a pattern. That I deserved to know. I sat there in my kitchen, same kitchen where I made that sad pasta the night I cracked, and I realized I'd been living with a stranger. Not just a man who drifted. Not just someone who forgot how to love. But someone who never really wanted to. He wanted adoration. Not partnership, not messiness, not aging skin or real emotions or quiet Wednesday nights folding laundry in silence. He wanted to be worshipped. And I had stopped bowing. So he found someone else to kneel. I wish I could say I burned all his stuff, slashed his tires, keyed his car. But honestly, I didn't. I boxed up his shit, left it on the porch, sent a photo with the caption, "You've got 48 hours. After that, Goodwill gets a glow up." He picked it up when I wasn't home. Because cowards don't do goodbyes. In the days that followed, something strange happened. I started sleeping better. Not immediately, but eventually. I'd wake up and not feel the heaviness on my chest. I'd sit in traffic and not fantasize about screaming. I started playing music in the kitchen again. The silence was mine now. And it was finally peaceful. You'd think after all that, I'd feel victorious. Like some feminist phoenix, rising from the ashes of his bullshit. But here's the thing no one tells you about reclaiming your power. It's lonely as hell. For the first 2 weeks, I filled my time with distractions. I Marie Kondoed the whole damn house, tossed out socks that hadn't sparked joy since Obama's first term, ordered lavender candles, bought a plush throw blanket I didn't need. I tried to rebuild my life with Amazon Prime and oat milk lattes. But you can't 2-day ship your way out of heartbreak. Nights were the worst. That's when the guilt crept in, not for him, God no. But for me. For staying so long. For making excuses for the coldness in his eyes. For begging him to want me, like some pathetic backup dancer in the musical of his ego. I remembered all the times I'd blamed myself. Maybe if I lost 10 pounds. Maybe if I wore more lingerie. Maybe if I stopped nagging. Girl, he cheated because he wanted to. Not because I didn't shave my legs that one Tuesday in April. But that didn't stop the shame from bubbling up like old milk under pressure. Then came the texts. From mutual friends. One of them, Lisa, because of course her name is Lisa, messaged me out of nowhere. Hey, I just wanted to say I hope you're doing okay. He seems really broken about everything. I stared at that sentence like it had slapped me. He was broken. He was hurting. What in the emotionally reversed hell was this? I didn't reply, but she doubled down the next day. He said he never meant to hurt you, that it just happened. People make mistakes. People forget to buy almond milk. People double book a meeting. People don't accidentally FCK someone at the Velvet Luxe. I wanted to scream at her, but instead I just sent back. You know what else just happens? Divorces. That was the last time we spoke. Turns out, the friends who really support you are the ones who don't try to balance the scales between you and the person who set them on fire. One night, I did something dangerous. I looked through old photos. There was one of us in Maui, on the beach. I was wearing that green bikini he used to love. He had his arms wrapped around me, and we were both laughing at something off camera. For a second, I wanted to believe that version of us was real. That somewhere under the ruins, that couple still existed. But no, that moment was a snapshot, not a promise, and it didn't excuse what came after. That's when it hit me. I hadn't just lost him. I'd lost the illusion of him. And that grief, it's sharper than betrayal. Because once you stop loving someone, the heartbreak doesn't just vanish. It shifts. Becomes nostalgia, anger, regret. A quiet echo that plays in the back of your mind at random times, during commercials, or while folding towels. I missed who I thought he was. And I hated that I missed him at all. But even in the worst of it, something small started to shift inside me. Like a pilot light that hadn't quite gone out. I started writing again. Nothing fancy, just a notes app full of rants, poems, and hypothetically violent diary entries. I titled one, Things I Should Have Said Instead of Faking Orgasms. Another, He Couldn't Find My Clit, but Found a Hotel Room Real Quick. Petty. Maybe. Therapeutic. Hell yes. For the first time in forever, I felt like me. Messy, loud, sharp-tongued, grieving. But real. Just when I thought I was crawling out of the emotional wreckage, he came back. Because of course he did. They always come back when you stop begging. It was a Thursday. I'd just gotten back from Trader Joe's, trying to pretend baby carrots and hummus could fix my mental state when I saw him. Standing on my front porch like he was auditioning for a redemption arc. Hands in pockets. Apology face on. I didn't open the door, just stared through the glass like he was a raccoon trying to sell me solar panels. He mouthed, please. I cracked the door, barely. What do you want? I asked, voice flat. He looked thinner, or maybe just deflated, like his ego had finally sprung a leak. I miss you, he said. I messed up, I know I messed up, I wasn't thinking, Talia, she meant nothing. Oh, that line. The official script of cheating men everywhere. I should have filmed it and posted it on TikTok with the caption. New season, same plot. He kept going. I've been going to therapy, he said. I'm trying to figure out why I did what I did. I think I was scared. Of getting older. Of you not needing me anymore. I blinked. You booked a hotel room because you thought I didn't need you. He nodded like that made sense. I stepped outside, shut the door behind me, arms crossed. So what's this? A last-ditch monologue before your new girlfriend stops replying. No, he said quickly. We're not even talking anymore. I ended it. I stared at him. And for a second, just one dangerous second, I felt that old tug in my chest. Not because I wanted him back, but because I wanted to believe he felt it too. The ache, the absence, the loss of what we were. Then he said it. I was thinking maybe we could go away, reconnect. I found this cabin. I laughed out loud. A cabin? Oh, how romantic. Will there be another woman waiting with cocoa and condoms? He winced. Okay, I deserved that. You think, I shot back. You think all it takes is one sad apology and a lakeside airbnb to erase the fact that you humiliated me. He went quiet. I loved you, I said, quieter now. God, I fought for you. I begged you to see me, to want me. You ignored me until someone else stroked your ego, and probably more than that. He didn't deny it. Didn't argue. Just stood there, small, finally. I just want a chance to make things right, he said. I walked past him to the edge of the porch. Then I turned. You already had it, I said. It came wrapped in years of loyalty, of forgiveness, of love, and you pissed on it with rose petals and room service. Then I opened the door, stepped back inside, and shut it in his face. But he wasn't done. 2 days later, I got a message from Talia. Again. But this time, she wasn't sorry. She was pregnant. Don't worry, she wrote. I'm not trying to trap him. He doesn't even know yet. I just figured you deserve to know before it ends up on Facebook. I dropped my phone. Literally. Onto the kitchen floor. And then I laughed. Not the elegant, quiet laugh of someone with closure. The hysterical, almost pee yourself cackle of someone whose life just turned into an HBO miniseries. Pregnant. Of fucking course she was. I stared at that message for what felt like hours. Pregnant. Not even 6 weeks after I caught them. I did the math. Backtracked the dates. And that's when it hit me. The night I asked him for more passion, the night he looked me in the eyes and said, I'll try, that same fucking day, he put a baby in someone else. It wasn't just betrayal anymore. It was extinction. Whatever hope I had clung to, gone. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I sat at the kitchen island and wrote a list. Cancel therapist, too expensive to cry in front of strangers now. Change my last name back. Block him on everything again. Buy wine. Buy batteries. Send the final email. That last one. That was the twist. See, when we got married, we didn't just share love and secrets. We shared tax accounts. And I still had access to his small business QuickBooks dashboard, because guess who set it up? Me. And guess what was on there? A recurring charge for personal branding consulting, $900 a month. And guess who was the consultant? Talia, under a fake LLC. He was paying her. While I was budgeting groceries and trying to afford tampons without guilt, he was funneling our money to the woman he knocked up. So I screen captured it all. Attached it to an email. To him. To his company's HR. And just for good measure, to his accountant. Subject line. Infidelity is personal, embezzlement is not. He replied 4 minutes later. You're ruining my life. I replied. No, I'm just filing it alphabetically. And then I poured wine, put on my playlist. Track 1 Beyonce, Sorry. On repeat. He came to my house again that night. I didn't open the door. But I did turn on the porch light, just so he'd know I saw him. He stood there. Then he sat. Then he cried, like full sobs, shoulders shaking. I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel anything. Except done. 3 days later, his sister reached out. She said she was ashamed of him. That their parents were heartbroken. She asked if I'd consider coming to his family's 4th of July cookout. To talk things through. I almost choked on my iced coffee. Like I'd bring pasta salad and closure to that clown show. I replied with, I'll pass, but tell your mom thanks for the banana bread last Christmas. It slapped. And then something wild happened. People started messaging me. Not just friends, strangers. Turns out, Talia posted a vague story about being betrayed by a married man who wanted to play daddy, but couldn't even play decent. And guess who they all assumed she was talking about? Me. So now I was the villain in her version. I didn't respond, but I did update my TikTok bio. Not the side chick, just the main character. And posted a 3-part story time, with names censored, that went very viral. Let's just say, Velvet Luxe isn't trending for the reasons it hoped. But none of it, the exposure, the receipts, the online clout, none of it healed the thing that hurt most. That I asked for more love. And got abandonment in return. It's been 6 months. Not that I'm counting. But my calendar has a little red heart on the day I stopped begging to be loved. People keep asking if I've moved on. Like that's a checkbox. Like healing is a GPS with ETA. Here's the truth. Some mornings, I wake up and miss his laugh. Other mornings, I remember how cold the bed felt even when he was lying next to me. Both are true. Grief is like that. It comes in waves, but sometimes it's a riptide. I didn't get a dramatic new boyfriend. I didn't cut my hair or move to Bali. I stayed. Right here. In this house with the creaky floorboards and the chipped wine glasses. But now, I fill it with music again. Real music. Not the silence of unspoken needs. Not the echo of my own voice asking, "Do you still want me?" No one's dodging the question anymore. Because I don't ask it. I see him sometimes. Not in person, but in memes. Turns out, someone from his office leaked part of the story online. People went feral. He had to step away for personal reasons. He posted a black square on Instagram with a long-ass caption about accountability and healing and complexity. Whatever. He's not the villain of my story anymore. He's just the exit sign. The bright red symbol that says, "Run and don't look back." Talia had the baby. She posted the baby's name on Facebook with his last name. Which ballsy. But I don't care anymore. Seriously. I don't. Because for the first time in years, I'm not trying to be anyone's everything. Not a fantasy. Not a therapist. Not a fixer. Just me. And I've learned something brutal but freeing. Sometimes the most passionate thing you can do is walk away. No slamming doors. No final monologues. Just quiet, unapologetic freedom. I asked him for more passion. And he gave me hell. But in the end, I found peace. And I'm never giving that up again. Subscribe to my Mia's Stories YouTube channel for raw, emotional stories and authentic insights that encourage healing, growth, and understanding. Don't forget to be part of a supportive space where stories inspire and lessons resonate. What do you think about this story? Let us know in the comments. Your opinion truly matters to us, and we're here for you.